Family Sportsman. Very popular boat in our lineup. Boat measures 23 foot 9 inches stem to stern. It has an 8.5 foot beam, carries 100 gallons of gas. With a 300 horsepower at cruise, you're going to be between 320 and 360 miles of range, depending on your load. Good thing about this boat, it's fully foam filled, so you don't have the echoing when you're going over waves and hitting waves, which makes it a sturdy boat. It makes it you more confident to go out. We have plenty of these that do the crossing to the Bahamas. We have a lot that go out to the middle ground. Very safe, very sturdy boat. Fish is great, family's wonderful. So this boat comes with a stainless steel anchor up front on a windlass system, so it drops and retrieves the anchor itself just with a push of a button. Come on around back. You have built-in nav lights here. This 239 is set up on a step hull. The V is down in here, and then it steps up. It's easier to see on our 219 video. There's a video about 219, and we have it up in the air so you can see the step. But basically, the step goes from 24 degree to a 19 degree hull. The reason we do that is because you have trim tabs that are integrated in the back, which I'll show you in a minute. And when you put your trim tabs down, it elongates your planing surface. So where the white water comes out beside a boat, we call that a planing arrow, where it goes up under the boat. When you move those tabs down, it moves your planing arrow forward into the step. So it makes cutting waves a lot better. So back in the day, we used to trim the engine under to do that, but then you lost your steerage. Now you have full engine trim, you have full steers easily, because you can use the trim tabs to do the same thing. Coming back, you have a reverse chine on the boat. You see most boats, the hull comes up and then back down. The reason they do that is so that your boat at rest doesn't tip back and forth. Most people hold that chine all the way to the end. What Key West has figured out is they can get rid of that chine back here, so it's not holding the water, grabbing it and running it down, that where you end up with two big white lines behind your boat, and that causes a lot of drag. What they're doing is they're allowing it to release out. So when you're at rest, this reverse chine will hold you from rocking back and forth, nice, but at the back, when you're running, the water sprays off nicely. So when you look at this, it's a little bit of a different ride than most, because the water's releasing and not creating all that drag and not making your boat want to wiggle. So it's a way better system to do, and really good on fuel economy when you do that. Back here is that trim tab I was talking about. The trim tabs are made by Bennett Marine, which is owned by Yamaha. That trim tab goes all the way under, and it's on the planing surface. So when you trim, it affects your planing surface. If you had it just back here, what it'd do is it'd tip you over the planing surface. It'd tip you over the arrow. This elongates the planing surface, so you have full steerage here. On the stern of the boat, we have a 8-inch setback. And the reason we do that is because we run a 27-inch transom on a 25-inch motor. And how we can do that is because we go by the theory of well effect. For every 2 inches, when your boat presses on the water, when it releases, for every 2 inches back, you get 1 inch of well. And you can see we even duplicated that on the rise here. So we have 1 inch of well, so the water actually comes up to the motor. The other thing is, as you trim that motor, it makes it where it's on a cantilever, where it has leverage lifting on it. Basically, it'd be like if you were trying to do something with a wrench and you couldn't do it, you stuck a pipe on it, you could easily move it. It's the same thing, it's just leverage. And we create leverage by doing that. So you got a boat that doesn't draft as much, that runs in cleaner water because it's released back to it, so the engine runs more efficient. It gives you more grab on your propeller, so that you can go through the water easier, faster. And then when you trim the engine up, it gives you a lot more bow rise to create a lot more lift, again, to get that step out of the water and to make it where you're running on a 19-degree surface. So when you're running in smooth water, super efficient. When you're running in rough water, super dry and comfortable. So that's the thing, it's kind of best of both worlds. And that's why we step hull them. You have a 3-step ladder So it comes down so you can step through and get into your boat easily. So let's go inside. One more thing. You have a cooler back here so that you can put drinks and stuff in it. So if you're floating on the tubes around it, hanging out at the beach, you don't have to get in and out of the boat. You can have your drinks right here. So it'll carry just enough beer for you to get drunk enough where you can't use the ladder, so be careful. Let's go inside and check out the features inside. At the bow of the boat, you have the windlass we talked about. You have cleats in front that are pop-up cleats. You have cup holders. They also serve as rod holders. That's a good feature, not only to have cup holders up front when you have all this seating, but you have rod holders if you're fishing. And also, you can take a shade and put it out front. That holds the poles out front. The shade hooks to the top, and it'll shade this whole area. This comes with a bow filler cushion. That's a fairly popular option. We stock some with and some without, but it can always be ordered and added on. This also makes a table, so you take the cushion off, and there's a table, and it pops up and holds up here so you can sit around it. You have the seats that do pull out to make it flat, but you have the seat backs, you have U seating, and you have plenty of storage here. And on this side, you have storage over here also. Two more cup holders here. You have a big fish box here in the floor, and that has a macerator, so it'll chew everything up and shoot overboard because it's below the deck. This is a self-bailing boat, so everything runs back to the drains. So that's a nice feature if you're getting fish on, fish blood. If you're netting, it's a good feature to have so you can wash them back. If you take a huge wave, that's a really nice feature. This is some storage here. Under here are a couple hoses. And the reason we have hoses there is because you have a raw water and freshwater washdown. Your freshwater fill is right here. Your tank is underneath the console. Your freshwater spigot's right here. You just hook the hose to it and you use it. And your raw water is back here. Your raw water spigot is right here. This has a 6-speaker Fusion stereo on it. The reason we rigged the stereos from the factory is, again, it's a foam-filled boat. Really hard to rig after the fact because you won't have the chases or the wiring. So it's all rigged before from the factory. You have a step-down head here. The batteries go on this shelf. All your electronics are here behind, and then this curtain goes up, and you have a place for your potty there. The curtain here is to access your freshwater tank in front. This one comes with a hard top. Most of ours that we stock do have a hard top. We both have powder coated and a traditional, like that. That's a 239 there with just the brushed aluminum. This has a 12-inch Garmin on it. This is the CL5 Yamaha gauge. The gauge is also made by Garmin. It's programmed by Yamaha. So those two talk to each other really well. If you want to see everything on this gauge, on this Garmin, not a problem. It's just one wire that hooks it over. This is for your phone. You just put it in and you can charge it. That's your Fusion stereo. All push button controls for all your lights, your for your horn, your bilges, for your live well, everything. Your windlass anchor is here. This is, of course, is deploy, and this is retrieve. You have the Bennett trim tab controls, all with LEDs, so it can tell you where your tabs are at any time. And this is a digital control. This is a digital steering, digital control motor, DEC. So this is very easy to use. It lightly moves it. You can move it with one finger once the engine's on, no problem. And this is digital steer, incredibly easy to use. No hydraulics, just electric steering. You can do it with one finger. Your 4-year-old can drive the boat. Don't suggest it, but they can. So this also tilt helm. So if you're standing, it's good. If you're sitting, up on the seat, it's good. These are in the lean position right now. You can have it seated, so you can be leaning while someone's sitting beside you. This also is a footrest with storage. The cooler opens really well like this, but also if you want it fully open, it just slides out really easy on its own slide, so you're not dragging it across your deck, marking it up. It's on its own slide, and you just go back and it locks in place. You have across the back, you have storage in the 2 side compartments. So there's storage in both of these. And then this one is a live well. It's 24 gallons usable. It means you leave some airspace. Your aerator can create bubbles and stuff in there. It picks up from outside, goes in, and drains right back out. So it's totally circulating from the outside. Again, this is the door to access in and out, so it's easy to use. So that's the 239 Family Sport made by Key West. If you have any questions, give us a call at Outcast, check us out online, or come on by. We'll be happy to show it to you. Thank you so much.